An international aid organization has warned that unexploded war remnants in Gaza can continue to endanger civilians for up to 20 or 30 years. The comment was made by an explosives clearance specialist working with aid organization Humanity and Inclusion. Nick Orr described Gaza as a terrifying minefield without a defined map. He added that his team of 7 will begin surveying key infrastructure sites, including hospitals and bakeries, next week to identify areas contaminated with unexploded ordnance. The expert warned that a complete clearance of war remnants from Gaza may never be possible, and such explosives will be found for generations to come. His remarks came after an international NGO specializing in mine clearance warned that unexploded Israeli munitions continue to pose a deadly and persistent threat to Palestinians in Gaza. Handicap International added that around 70,000 tons of explosives have been dropped on Gaza since the start of the Israeli genocide in October 2023. Now, to talk more on this, we are joined by Mr. Jim Kavanagh, political analyst and blogger, joining us from New York, US. Mr. Kavanagh, are you with us? Yes, he is.
Yes,
Mr. Kavanagh,
can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Good to see you, Mr. Kavanagh. Mr. Kavanagh, as if 2 years of onslaught wasn't enough, now the Gazans have to live with the fear of unexploded ordnance for decades to come. And also your thoughts on many critics saying that one of the regime's plan was basically to ruin the Palestinians' future, just make Gaza uninhabitable.
Well, of course that was the plan. Yes, there will be unexploded, explosives for decades to come. There's still unexploded munitions in Vietnam that they're finding, you know? And the Israelis have been particularly pernicious about this. They've laid down and they're still finding, booby-trapped cans that look like cans of food or soup that people are going to pick up and kids are going to pick up and try to open and it'll blow up in their faces. So the Israelis, as you say, their project was to make unlife livable for the Palestinians in Gaza, to drive them out, to kill them or drive them out. And they've done that. And it's interesting, this guy you quoted from this organization that's going to go in to try and find the unexploded munitions and clear it out. That's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot of work. The Israelis aren't letting people in to do things like that. You have a situation now. Gaza has been partitioned. This is 1948 2.0. There's a partition of Gaza now. The Israelis control 58%, I think. It was supposed to be 53, but they encroached a little more. 58% of Gaza. There's never going to be a Palestinian Arab left back in there. That's going to be an Arab-free zone. And the rest of it, as Jared Kushner says, we're going to reconstruct the Israeli-occupied portion of Gaza, but the rest of it can go to hell. And they want to keep that rest of it unlivable, make sure it's unlivable. They're going to kill, instead of killing 100, 200 people a day, they'll kill 5 or 10 people a day, just to kind of slow drip massacre, and they won't allow any kind of reconstruction in that area of Gaza. And that's going to be, so I don't know, they're withholding, as you said before in the previous segment, they're withholding aid, and this is all against there's no ceasefire. There's an Israeli diminution of fire, but they're going to keep attacking, slowly. And their objective is, okay, we now occupy 58% of Gaza. That's going to be filled with Israeli settlers in 18 months, and there'll be no Palestinian Arabs. And the 43 or 42% we don't occupy, we're going to keep that unlivable, make sure nobody can ever build a house there again.
That's right, Mr. Kavanagh. Mr. Kavanagh, aren't there supposed to be any rules or regulations in wars, or it just doesn't exist for the U.S., especially for the Israeli regime? 70,000 tons of explosives dropped on 2 million Palestinians in a tiny little strip. And like you said, they won't even allow the machinery to clean up the place.
Yeah, they won't even allow them to bring, we want you to find our dead bodies, but we will not allow you to bring in construction equipment and bulldozers to clear up the rubble. It's ridiculous. And this is Zionist exceptionalism. America and Israel, the international laws do not apply to them. They just ignore it. Look at the United States blowing up little boats in international waters because they designate them narco-terrorists. So, and the Israelis, and unfortunately, nobody cares enough about the Palestinians, nobody in the world cares enough about the Palestinians to fight Israel and the United States over it, which is what it's going to take for the Palestinians. So it's a very tragic situation for them, and it's shameful for the world that they have been willing to watch the Palestinians be destroyed. And until and unless someone stands up and fights back with military force, the Palestinians are going to continue to be destroyed.
There you have it, Mr. Jim Kavanagh, political analyst and blogger from New York, US. Mr. Kavanagh, as always, thank you for your time, sir.